that's good stuff on that end. Now we move along, going to our hymn zone of the week. A lot of fun things we went down in week 11 that we want to highlight are the best and worst of the week. Some fun things going on there. For the those that just watched our last episode, our 3 truths, we just talked about Zach Wilson. He could be mentioning this as well. We won't talk about him just yet. Alec, I'll pass it to you on the positive side though. Who was your him of week 11?
Yeah, Brock Purdy, man, he's back. Brock is back.
You see him? And actually, let me give him praise. I tried to give him a little hate early on in the season. Said he needed all his guys to be good. Said that he is very much just a system quarterback and all of that. He showed that he can step up at when he has had some preparation and all of that as he did this week and has his guys around him, which kind of was my point. But seeing how we executed even beyond that deserves praise. I'm glad to see how he turned things around this week for sure. So yeah, all praise to him.
Yeah, I think last season you were talking about the perdification of the league or whatever too.
That's still a good thing. It's still a good thing, but yeah, I was.
But yeah, I think we both acknowledge that Purdy has been great in majority of these games. I think it was a couple of down weeks with Trent Williams out and with Debo out, but also with dealing with that concussion that you pointed to, where he maybe should have even been playing that one game.
Correct.
And they sent him out there, so I think that played a part into some of the bad decision making and some of the rough starts that he had when his guys were out. But the team is fully healthy again, and they're rolling. He went 21-25, 333 yards, 3 touchdowns versus the Bucs this past Sunday. It's 2 straight games with 3 touchdowns and 300 yards and no turnovers. And I believe he had a perfect passer rating in this game as well too. So this team is just fully healthy and clicking on all cylinders. And they should be respected as we were before they had the couple of injuries. They might be even better now, having added Chase Young to that defensive line too.
Yep.
The secondary has had its issues, but if they're getting to the quarterback, they're gonna make some guys uncomfortable back there. So yeah, I think the Niners are back, and Brock Purdy playing as well as he is a big reason why. So he's him this week.
For sure. Salute to him. Definitely a good performance there. Need to be highlighted. We talked about a quarterback that I had to give praise to as someone who we saw and I had my doubts about. Another one that kind of the same way. It was kind of a one-off, but we must praise for this week for sure. Tommy DeVito. Tommy. 3 TDs versus the Commanders, and an impressive victory for them there. Folks had didn't really have high expectations at all for him, as he kind of was a guy pulled out of nowhere to replace Daniel Jones as he's been out for a little while. And he stepped up, at least this week for sure, in a very nice way. The Commanders are a very respectable team right now. Folks had high hopes for
very respectable team. I don't know about all that.
I would say very respectable. They're respectable enough. I think we both picked the Commanders in this game.
We both picked them to win. Yes.
Yeah, the defense was solid there. The offense at times clicks, and how, I guess, for our fantasy folks, is like a top 5 QB fantasy-wise and all that. So they put up numbers a little bit, but versus a giant squad, we're outmatched by Tommy and Saquon and those guys this week at least. And definitely wanted to give him this praise in this moment. So we'll see if they can build on it. We'll see if he can continue to be anything in the league right now, as folks really didn't know where he came from for a moment. I think there was stories about him staying with his family still, and the family still washes his clothes and all kinds of stuff. I don't forget what exactly his quote was, but he's now doing it on a big stage, and we'll see if they can build on that any kind of way going forward. And shout out to Tommy, man. Shout out to Tommy. Definitely wanted to give him his praise there. So good stuff on that front. Now going to the opposite side, I have to go to you first, Alec. Who is your not him of week 11?
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of the Chiefs receivers as a whole, but namely MVS, because he dropped that walk-in touchdown, man, that would have effectively won them the game against the Eagles last night on Monday Night Football.
The Eagles find ways to win, man. they blew some wind over.
They can't keep getting away with this.
Like they blew a little wind over there at MVS, and he dropped that pass.
Oh my God, he had stone hands on that one, man. But I mean, they had their worst game of the season. The Chiefs receiving core with 5 drops. It's the second game, like as we talked about, of memory where they had the game-losing drops in the game. Like, what was it? Kadarius Toney had the one that bounced off his hands and
Right.
ended up being a pick six, and they lost that
Nasty
one.
work.
So this team could be 9-1 right now, but they're 7-3 because they've had those crucial errors from the receiving core, and
Yeah.
MVS was the face of that. Justin Watson too had a drop on 4th and 25 that would have converted it for a first down and kept the game alive too. So that was rough, but yeah, I don't know if they can they bring someone in still at this point.
They
That
can
would
sign
help.
somebody. They can't trade nobody, but
Right.
the Ravens, you saw last year or 2 years ago, I think it was, they went and grabbed Des Bryant or Deshaun Jackson or somebody. They can pull somebody off the I Am Athlete and get a go play receiver for a couple weeks if they want to.
I ain't trying to disrespect nobody.
I was just not hate. We saw Deshaun Jackson was on I Am Athlete, was like, let's play with Lamar, and got signed a week later. I'm just telling you what it is. It's only hate if you want to be hate. I'm just telling you what it is. But yeah, if they want to do that, they can go to that route. Whatever. I'm just telling you what it is.
So you heard it here first. Brandon Marshall will be signed by the Kansas City Chiefs.
Hey, great receiver there. He might. Who knows? But for real, we talked about with the Chiefs in my rankings. I talked about how I couldn't knock them from the one spot in regards to power rankings because they didn't have enough of a glaring weakness on that squad. They still winning games enough to say, even though the other squads that may look better technically, they are still the top dog until they get knocked off. We now see a glaring issue that's enough to say they're not at least number one. We can knock them down from the one spot at least.
I had the Ravens one. So.
Yeah, so as you had them. So I also giving them the respect because they are the top team. And while they still are fully in contention right now at 7-3, as you said, and will be pushed for the playoffs and all that kind of stuff, that receiving issue in regards to power rankings and Super Bowl push and all of that, that issue, if it does not get addressed some kind of way where these guys fix it the next couple of weeks and we see a clear fix with that, or if they sign somebody that can fix it or whatever the case may be, if it's not addressed some kind of way, that could continue to be their hindrance as preventing them from Super Bowl title this season. So
it's crazy.
Have to be acknowledged.
It's crazy because even with that glaring issue, I think they're still the second best team in the AFC. Like they're still right after the Ravens.
There. Sure, they're still right there.
Just beat the Dolphins, even with this. So they're still right there. But that could rear its ugly head in the playoffs if you're getting that kind of production from the
very, very much so. So hopefully not, as they are one of the most exciting teams in the league. Still, Pat Mahomes doing his thing. Definitely, he's still fully in his prime and doing his thing as only he can. So we'll see if these receivers can continue to feed off him as they need to get over the hump and help them get back to a Super Bowl as they had hoped. So yeah. Interesting things there. Definitely would have to acknowledge them for not hitting this week is what it is. On another receiver in the same lane, who's a receiver that folks had at decent hopes for, of someone who has a good quarterback and kind of let his QB down. Quentin Johnson this week dropping that last pass versus the Packers had to be acknowledged again. Very, very brutal moment. There were other issues across that game that whole Chargers squad, the Chargers themselves could have just been the whole, not him. Because the defense didn't look great. The offense had its own woes and all that kind of stuff. They all just did not play out.
Austin Eckler, they said Austin Eckler was running like Mike Tolbert on that breakaway run.
It didn't look bad.
The boost was not there.
Yeah, it was not there just yet. It has still getting his legs under him and all of that, getting back into shape for just dealing with that. It was just a bad outing for the Chargers this week. And Quentin with how that went and the game. And it's like the weird thing with the squad, kind of with the Chiefs also. It's like they have these clear issues that need to be addressed. They have these flaws that go on. You watch the game, like they still end up being in the game in the last possession. They're still there and have a chance to win these games, and they're just getting their own way at the end when they should convert. The Chargers will allow somebody to score when they shouldn't allow them to score, or blow a tackle, or drop a pass, or whatever the case may be, and things fall apart. The Chiefs will drop passes when they shouldn't, this year at least. It is what it is, and hopefully Quentin can bounce back and become the guy that folks had hoped he would be. We looked at folks were talking about in this draft how good the draft was last year. You had Jackson Smith and Jimmy go right before him. You had Zay Flowers right after him, Jordan Addison, even down a little bit further, Dalton Kincaid, who's become a pretty special tight end for the Bills. Had the Chargers had any of those guys as well, while Quentin deserving of the spot at the time. Now seeing the results, had the Chargers got any of the other guys, it might be a different story for them right now, but it is what it is. And hopefully the Chargers can continue to help him get right as things go along. Just coming to mind, some of those are the big games just for our him segment. Tank Dell in this draft, drafted way later. Tank Dell on the squad would be a special talent too. So all kinds of stuff. Drafts the draft could have went a whole different way, and Chargers could have a whole different result. Had they picked accordingly, but it is what it is. We'll see what Quentin Johnson can do going forward. Not probably writing him off as folks are doing. They're making all kinds of jokes a little too far in regards to him, in my opinion.
Yeah.
But I do want to acknowledge him for this segment for this week, because you gotta catch that pass, man. You gotta catch that pass. It is what it is. So that is our him and not him of week 11. Plenty of great things there. Excited to see who stands out in week 12, especially for our Thanksgiving games. We've seen a few times the guys step up on Thanksgiving and have great outings. So definitely going to be a lot of fun performances coming up soon, and excited for all this on the way. Let us know who stood out to you in week 11. Let us know who you guys are looking for week 12. I'm excited to talk to you guys about that in the comments and all of that there. So
I forgot to say I'm putting my hat into the Chiefs receiver room. If they need a spot, I said put me in, Coach Reed.
Post a highlight film. Post a highlight first. Lay us aside on that one.
I played a little receiver in middle school football. You
and me both. I ain't talking about playing for the Chiefs. It's on those stories. So we got to show the tape.
Hey, I'll put a catch together when Patrick Mahomes needed.
Release the footage. We'll decide. So plenty of fun stuff coming on the way with all of that.